Hello everyone, and welcome to the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. I'm John, and this week, we are welcoming in the new class of Video Game Choo Choo members. I was gonna try to say, like, associates or some I don't know. I don't want to make it sound too hoity-toity. Anyway, folks, I hope you're all ready to meet 3 new lovely people that are hopping on the train to talk about video games and other such things. I'm really excited. I hope it's gonna be a great time. I know it'll be a great time. So, first off, I would like to introduce you all to Elvie.
Hi! It's me. And that's indeed my name. It sounds like 2 letters. Pretty easy, straightforward.
You're pretty, like, I don't know if I want to say adamant or, like, excited about that, but, like, that is how you introduce yourself most of the time.
Yes. It's pretty, I don't know. I've kind of had back and forths about my name. I've often had, like, dilemmas when it came to, like, feeling bad when I go to, like, some touristy gift shop and I can't find my name on those really bad, overexpensive keychains where your name is printed on. Or, I don't know, I felt othered by the fact that my name was different. And for a while, I thought about it and, like, nah, that's pretty cool. I have, like, a strange name, so to speak. It's not that strange. There are a lot of people with this name, but has a double meaning to it. It sounds like 2 letters, but it's not.
Well, I think it's a fine name.
Thank you.
And we're glad to have you on.
Mm-hmm. But yes, it's not spelled L and V. Sorry.
I'm sure there are plenty of people right now furiously scribbling on a piece of paper. Because I'm guessing they have, like, a chart of who sounds like what on the Chooch podcast. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, oh man, I spelled that wrong, damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, there almost has to be. We have enough people on here.
It's like a cute family tree.
Well, we got 2 other folks to introduce. Next up, I'd like to give a big Chooch welcome to Walker.
Hello.
Now, I feel like you also introduced yourself with the Texas Ranger joke. So
yeah, I've heard it so many times that it's just like, let's get it out of the, let's finish this before it starts.
Yeah, we're just gonna kind of point out how everyone introduced themselves here. That's what we're gonna do.
It's our only characteristic, obviously. You know, it's like, yeah. Oh yes, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. But no, we're happy to have you as well. We're excited to have a good group of folks, and lastly, we have also brought on, and I felt I won't rub this in too much, but I was gonna call you Rad Spencer because of the Bionic Commando guy.
Oh yeah, gotcha. But hi, folks. I'm Spencer. Most people tend to call me Skull, but you can call me whatever you like. Of those 2 names, it's totally fine. It was really weird, having the name Spencer and just being completely under the radar, and then finding out about Bionic Commando, and it's like, oh my god, there's a video game character with my name. Why does he have an orange mustache?
I mean, he only has the orange mustache in Rearmed 2.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Rest in peace, Grin.
Yeah, rest in peace of that one. Alright, so I think, as should be custom, I would like to sort of have you all introduce yourselves to the podcast listening audience. There's folks that only listen to the podcast, as crazy as that may be, so they may not have read your introduction posts on the site. If you do want to read those, videogamechoochoo.com. Check those out. But real quick, I'll just ask you all some general video game questions, and I think folks will get to know you a bit better as they listen to you appear on the show more often.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Elvie, I'll start with you again.
Okay. I guess that's the order.
Why don't you talk a little bit about your taste in games, and maybe just your taste in things in general? What are some things that you really dig?
Okay, well, it's pretty straightforward to say I like cute things, honestly. Like, Animal Crossing's my jam. Anything that, removes me and, helps me escape from, I guess, the stresses of reality. That's pretty sad sounding, huh? But no, I enjoy these things, purely for aesthetics too, not just because like, oh, I'm sad, I must walk away from sad things through happy video games, which is, a fair thing once in a while that everyone needs, right? But no, I enjoy a lot of cute things, but then I also enjoy like a lot of like action-y games as well. Like, I guess stuff that fits in the bill of like arcadey. I've been deeply into the Yakuza series as of late, going down that wormhole, for instance. So that's like, I guess, an example of something I'm particularly interested in, like, super recently. Just been slowly working my way down the series. I know a lot of things that happen. It's not really the story I'm interested in at this point. Like, okay, I kind of know like who dies, what happens, whatever. It's a journey. It's definitely a journey, I would say. Just to experience Yakuza.
Yeah, that's cool. We are most of us are pretty big Yakuza fans, myself included. So, yeah, you are welcome here. You are home. All right. Here's a question for you. Who's your favorite though? Who's your favorite character in Yakuza?
But Kiryu, of course. Like, who else? Yeah, I mean, standard.
There's Majima fans.
I know, but there's a lot of games. There's very few like where I actually like the main character, and I'm like, wow, I dig this dude. I'm like, wow, like a lot of video games kind of put the main character in a position where they don't really have a personality. They're sort of like an avatar to the player. This fellow, like, wow. I mean, really no words. I just like the fact that he's consistent, like I mean, don't want to get further deep into a Kiryu character analysis, but but yeah, I dig him. He's the best. He's the best boy. That's my opinion.
For sure.
I might get crucified for that opinion later, but who knows?
I don't think anyone here is going to be too pissed about that. Mm-hmm. So what are some other things that you're into besides games, if you want to dig into that?
Besides games? Oh, geez.
Sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm a huge animation fan. I speak that in general, not just to, specify anime specifically. I'm deeply into, animation in general. I do it for a living, basically. So it's kind of hard not to not like that. What's the most recent anime I've been watching? Oh, yeah, Dororo. It's a mouthful. I think I mentioned this before, which is another adaptation of an older manga, that has been recently rebooted into a more gritty work, and I really like it. Should I go into the premise of it?
I will say that you are going to be joining our anime podcast, Chuchigatari.
Oh, yes! As to segue into a different thing.
So, yeah. I'll just kind of get in front of that and say, you can talk about that when we record that next. Okay. How about that?
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Because that will go into another. Like, who knows what.
We don't want to give the people too much for free.
Too much. Yeah, right. Okay. Well, yeah, I dig anime. I really enjoy comics. I'm sorry, these are like very vague answers. Like, oh yes, I'm a nerd. This is what I'm saying. But yeah, essentially that. Yeah. Unless you want to go into things like my favorite color.
I mean,
my astrology sign.
Whatever you feel like is good to share with the fine listeners. Okay. I'm not going to stop you.
Okay.
But,
all right.
If you feel that you have given enough information to folks, we can move on.
Okay. Yes. For now, can't give everyone. You can't give everything.
Give it to them for free.
Can't give everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can't tease it. Okay.
All right. All right, Walker. How about you? What are some games that you really dig? And talk a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been playing games since I can remember, but like I have a very broad, almost random taste in games. But like some of my favorites that are still going is BlazBlue. I've been in love in that series ever since Calamity Trigger. Devil May Cry. No More Heroes. Which, by the way, is not why I hired you. Okay, before anyone asks. No, I didn't bring it up. Actually,
I love No More Heroes.
And it probably would have butt heads because you really like Travis Strikes Again, and I was kind of disappointed by it.
That's fine.
But I really love No More Heroes. Just in general, like anything that has like I say like maximalist vibe, like very out there. Like I really like the Infamous games, for example, because they just get so crazy with the explosions and the particle effects. And like more normal choices, I'm really into Final Fantasy, the Fallout games, Age of Empires 2. I've put so many hours into that game still with the new expansions that they're putting out. And my two controversial choices that like most people would say are shit. I really like Dynasty Warriors and I really like the Neptunia games. I buy every single one of those.
The Neptunia games is
They're interesting choices, but you know, no, you're living your life. It's all good. It's all good.
The Neptunia games.
They do have their problems, and I won't defend everything about them.
I was gonna say something positive, like, oh wow, they're kind of like in their own category, you know. It's like, I guess
I really like them.
They're solid. I would say they're solid.
Oh, they used to be completely not solid. They've been getting like they're almost decent now, but back in the days they were terrible.
You know, the fact that you're able to talk about the weaknesses of games that you really, really like is as commendable as can be. You're fine. Don't worry about it. And what are some other things that you like though? What makes Walker tick?
Well, the main thing is music in different forms. But when I was like 14, I really got into punk, and that's been like my all-consuming pastime ever since. Mostly like the more extreme stuff that kind of puts people off. But also just like I'm in my 20s, so you can imagine like I really like Against Me, I really like Masked Intruder, Every Time I Die, just like general person in their 20s who likes punk tastes. But also like just music in general. I really like Muse, Converge. There's this really interesting guy called Granson who's making like a mix of rock and roll and hip hop that I'm really, really into. Just music generally and breeding. Other than that, like, my hobbies are not interesting stuff to talk about. Like, I like taking care of my plants and my dog and making dresses, none of which are very fascinating to discuss.
Oh, you're underselling yourself a ton. All of that's really neat.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's cool. Making clothes in general is something like I can never, do properly. I can sew, but if I were to make a dress, it'd just fall apart immediately. It's probably sewn improperly. Wouldn't know how to read patterns. That's impressive, honestly.
It is.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, Walker. Now, Spencer, how about yourself? What kind of games are you into?
I like skeletons. I like games that have skeletons in them.
I'm glad you're very on brand.
That's what everybody's been saying. They're like, "Oh man, Spencer's really on brand. His brand is on point." But it's been cultivated over the years.
Oh my gosh.
So I really like stealth games, and I like when games that aren't stealth games have stealth mechanics, but I'm very, very, I love stealth games, so if a game has stealth mechanics and they're not good, I will know immediately, and I'll go like, this is a bad stealth section. This needs to be removed or fixed.
I mean, I'll be honest, I feel like that might not be such a special talent, because usually if a game has a bad stealth section, it's pretty apparent to everybody. It's just like, oh, this fucking sucks.
it's easy to spot like when it doesn't work, but it's hard. It's weird because it's one of those things where it's like if it works really well, you might not even notice it. But I also really like, you know, your traditional like RPGs, like your Pokemon and your Final Fantasy. I'm also into like those immersive sim games, like where you're like Dishonored and such. But I've also been like dabbling into like space sims, like Elite Dangerous and such.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it. But my favorite game, I'll tell you this right now, my favorite game is Ghost Trick, and you need to go play it. If you haven't played it, go play it.
On brand.
So good. So good.
Related to ghosts, not skeletons, but it's related.
Yeah, they're decent.
No, it's an excellent game. Yeah, I remember it.
It really is.
Can I make a question of you?
Sure.
Why skeletons?
That's a question I haven't thought about in a long time. It's to the point where it's like I've had this aesthetic for so long that I forgot why I originally got into it, but I don't know. It's probably because like physically I have been likened to a skeleton in my family because I've had like a very fast metabolism all my life, so I weigh like 115 pounds soaking wet, so that's probably where it started.
That's fair.
And I do know that you're also pretty into Final Fantasy XIV. Is there anything you want to talk about there?
There is too much to talk about. I think it's enough to just say like I'm big into Final Fantasy XIV. I've been playing it for years now, and I really like it. But you know, there's I could run the entire podcast talking about that. So I'd rather
then
not.
Let's not. Okay. But what else are you into, though?
I'm into creative writing. I like doing a lot of like world building stuff. I'm into drawing. I started drawing like I just had like at my old workplace. We had like those handheld like whiteboards, and we had a bunch of like expo markers. So I would like draw stuff on that every day. And then I was like, I need to get like an actual like drawing like booklet, so I started basically just drawing every day, and then I eventually moved into like drawing digitally with like a Clip Studio Paint and like getting a tablet. So I've been doing that. I haven't done it in a bit, but I've really enjoyed working with it, and I can tell you from experience, like if you want to get into drawing, just draw something every day. It doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter how good or bad it looks, just draw every day, and it is fun. It is astounding, like the level of progress you can have just by like having that consistent habit of throwing your hands at it every day. If you want to look at an example, you can go on videogamechoochoo.com, and on my intro post, I posted up an image of my work, which a lot of people were like, "Holy shit," which was fun.
It is pretty amazing.
They were.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Thank you. But I'm also like somewhat into anime. Like I haven't watched a lot this season, but I've been not revisiting, but I've been like going through like Mobile Suit Gundam stuff because my friend's been trying to get me into that for years. And I'm no longer like a big Kamen Rider fan, but I used to be a big Kamen Rider fan. I've watched a lot of seasons of like some of the more recent stuff, like not the stuff from the 70s and 80s, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that was all very good. That was all very informative, and I hope that folks have a good idea of what they can expect from you all in the coming days, weeks, months, etc. Thank you so much for sharing. Alright, so I think we could probably just go ahead and get into our week. This week had like no news. I mean, there was like one little bit of news, I guess, so we can, just kind of talk about stuff that we've been into, things that we've been playing, things that we can talk about. Let's see here. Walker, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. Like, just in the news?
You could just talk about some stuff that you've been playing.
Well, this week I only played 2 games. Darkest Dungeon, which I've been grinding at for a couple of weeks now. I used to really not get it. Like, it's so RNG dependent that I thought, you know what, neat idea, but it's not for me. And then a couple of weeks ago I jumped in again and it clicked. I finally have a couple of heroes at the level where you're like, yeah, I'm keeping this one. I fought a couple of bosses and I'm into it, but I'm not thinking that I'm gonna finish it because I see no reason to. Like, I've seen a couple of the bosses and they're not that much more impressive than regular enemies. And the story is not that interesting to me there. I really like the idea, but I'm honestly quite sad to say that, like, 10 hours in, it doesn't really develop much further. I'm looking forward to the sequel, though, because hopefully then they can pile on some complexity into it. But yeah, I've just been playing it as an idle game when I have a bit of time to kill. And I also completed all the trophies for Project Diva, in part thanks to Video Game Choo-Choo's own Solon, who helped me out in a couple of the hardest songs, just giving me general tips. It's a rhythm game with Miku songs. I really like it, but getting the platinum is a bit of a grind. By the end, you're just saving money to get clothes for the characters and giving them gifts, expecting that they liked it enough to get like a special cutscene where they're like, "Oh, you gave me juice, delicious," and you get a cutscene of them drinking juice and making a big deal out of it. And I started Project Diva F2, which is more of the same because I really like Miku.
I only found out today that Project Diva is a Hatsune Miku game.
You said.
Because people were just talking about it, like, Project Diva. It's like, sure, it's a rhythm game.
It's more than about Miku, and that could be why. Because it's the other ones, the other Vocaloids are part of it. So they can't just call it Hatsune Miku the game, because that'd be unfair.
That's true. That's true.
I think it's actually called Hatsune Miku Project Diva. I think that's the full title.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just a localized title where it's probably just easier to say Project Diva.
Yeah, so you've focused a ton on getting the platinum. What were the hardest parts of getting the platinum?
The hardest part was actually a mistake from my part, because to get the platinum you only need to do hard difficulty, but I misread something and I thought I had to do the hardest one. So I spent like a week and a half grinding in extreme difficulty, only to find out that was completely uncalled for. There was no reason at all to do that. And after I found out that I didn't have to do that, I did one song called Unhappy Refrain, which is the one that Solon helped me do. Because it's just a big favorite of mine, and the composer recently passed away, so I thought, well, like, just a little homage, let's do this one, and then go back to the grind. But after I found out that you didn't have to do extreme, it wasn't really difficult, it was just time-consuming to replay the songs over and over again to get all the money. And there's also a luck-dependent achievement, because in the loading screens they show you fan art of all the Vocaloids, and there's something ridiculous, like 300 pieces of fan art in that game. But they all pop up at random, and to get that achievement you have to see all of them. So you better hope you get lucky, and you see them all before the end. I got lucky though, and I saw them all before I was done with all the other ones.
Well, that's good.
This sounds more intense than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and people thought like dodge 300 lightning bolts in Final Fantasy X was a challenge.
Ain't seen nothing.
Oh.
Well, thank you for the Project Diva / Darkest Dungeon update.
I guess they're on the like equal parts of the spectrum now in terms of difficulty, or you know, a strat high Project Diva strat.
They should add Miku to Darkest Dungeon.
Oh my gosh!
Good job.
What were her skills be? Like, what would that? Huh?
She'd probably be like a bard.
Yeah,
so
bard,
she has some supportive stuff.
Yeah, one of those that like
I didn't
cheer
want
them
to
up.
think straight to that, but interesting.
I mean, it would be like an idol sort of rendition
And
of a
like
bard.
a modified bard. She can't just be a bard.
But I imagine like she'd have like a microphone stand, but
Yeah.
like the bottom of it's like has an axe blade,
Oh, yeah,
so she just like
yes,
bashes people with that.
Definitely. Dual.
I'd have to start that game for the 5th time if they put Miku in.
All right. Let's see. Spencer, what have you been playing? What's going on with you lately?
So, remember when I said like Final Fantasy 14, I could spend an entire podcast? I won't do that, but I will say.
Yeah, please be careful right now. So currently there is a Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 15 a crossover event.
Oh my god, I've seen that.
So they did the 15 version where it was like, you can have your boys and they go and fight like one of the enemies from 14 and they can wear like the different costumes from the different races and like you can get Noctis with cat ears and it's adorable. But the 14 version is basically Noctis like finds himself in 14's world and is like, hey, anybody, do you guys have garages here? Because my car's broken down and I have no idea where I am.
I've seen screenshots where he has the car in this world where that should not exist, technically, right? It's very jarring.
There's no cars.
As someone who does not play, yes.
There are airship dirigibles, but there's no
steampunk.
There's trains, but there's no cars yet.
Oh my god.
Well, now there's cars because this isn't just like some random crossover event where it's like, we reinterpreted like Christmas to fit like our world. This is like, no. Noctis like literally goes into the world and now we have access to car technology. So
are they considering him like, oh, he's from a different kingdom or a different country, or
he's from a different, it's very clear that he's from a different world.
Okay.
But there's a fun achievement you get at the end, which I'll get to. But basically, the whole event is like you like helping Noctis like get back to his world, and there's like fun little 15 things. Like there's like a scene where you kind of sit down and have a camp, and he makes you some like rice balls, and there's a scene where he's like fishing, and he takes a selfie with you, and you can have your character say like, yeah, I'll take a photo. Wait, what's a photo? Because we don't have like cameras. But you eventually like he goes back to his home galaxy and everything's fine, and the people who helped like fix his car, they're like, hey, we can give you a copy of his car, and it's the first 4-person mount in the game. Up until this point, like mounts are either single rider or there's 2-rider mounts, and this is the first 4-rider mount, so it's really special. Problem is you have to beat like the baseline story, which is I looked it up last night. It's 187 quests, and once you beat it, then you have to collect like 200,000 of the casino money to buy the car for whatever reason. So I've already done that 3 times, and I'm just now doing it on a 4th character because I'm a monster. But the achievement you get is like when you send Noxus back to his home galaxy, the achievement is brother from another mother crystal. Because in 14, like the world is kind of treated as like the mother crystal. So it's pretty funny.
That is pretty good.
So that's what I've been doing.
All right, is that the big game that you've been playing? Have you been getting up to any other games lately?
I'm trying to chip away at the last bits of this Warframe Nightwave thing, which I started playing Warframe in February, and then 2 weeks after I started playing it, they introduced Nightwave, which is, it's basically like a battle pass where it's like, hey, you can do certain tasks every week, and we'll give you like rewards, and there's like 30 different rewards you can get if you accrue enough points. And like it takes some amount of time to get through all the rewards, and there's only so many per week. And they said like, oh, if you do 60% of the rewards, you can fill out you can get all 30 rewards. And some of the rewards are things that you actually really want, like as a new player, like a Warframe slot or, extra resources. But I don't think it was done really well, because it like stylistically it's cool, because it's like this like night radio thing, and there's this cool character named Nora Knight, and she does like little like broadcasts, and it's really cool. But some of the, like, I was a new player, like literally barely 2 weeks into the game, and they're like, hey, go do this like end game content and like solo it, or like go take 4 friends and survive for like an hour in a mission where all the enemies like slowly get more and more powerful. And I'm like, I can't do this. So, and it's ending in 2 days. I think it's ending on, but by the time this podcast comes up, it'll have ended. And I'm like, and it sucks because I'm like, I almost got all the rewards, but there's not enough things for me to do to get all of them. So it's a bit of a bummer.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You say it's not correctly balanced for like new players. Do you get the impression that it was intended for new players and it's just not done well, or like it was meant for older players and you just couldn't get the full benefits of it?
I think it was okay. So the end game stuff, I could have absolutely like gone into recruiting chat and said, hey, can someone like carry me through like a sortie so I can get this credit for Nightwave? I could have absolutely done that, but it feels kind of weird to get rando players to like help me with this end game content that, you know, I should just be able to like do myself if I like progress through the game more. It just, like, I could have gotten people to carry me through it, so I absolutely could have completed those objectives, but I just didn't feel comfortable doing that. It seems kind of like missing the point of the whole task.
Understandable.
But they did in their last like dev stream, they talked about how like they were going to tone down some of the more extreme stuff, and I hope for the next season they rebalance it to like, because that's the thing I submitted was like, hey, it's kind of not cool to like request that new players do this end game content when they literally can't. So
makes sense.
Okay.
But that's what I've been up to.
All right. Thank you so much. Elvie.
Yes. Games.
Yeah, what have you been up
Oh my
what
gosh.
have you been up to?
Mobile games have been ruining my life. And I'll tell you what. So yeah, it's just been as of late. I've been busy with stuff, and it's like, okay, I can't really sit down, and be immersed in something that takes a lot of focus. I gotta do the thing where, anyone who's ever, has to commute long hours to work, not necessarily I have to do long hours, but you know what I mean? Like, if you have to have the whole process where, you gotta ride a bus or a train to go to work, every day, that whole monotonous routine, once in, you have those pockets of time to, like, say, like, okay, I'll pull up my phone and play a game, because yeah, and like, just to speak on that, like, mobile games are kind of like the largest market right now, I think, and the biggest one in video games technically because of that. Like, so many people who don't necessarily ID as a gamer play mobile games because it's just straightforward to do that. But yeah, oh my gosh, mobile games have been ruining my life. As of late, and actually it's not even that recent, this has been going on for some time, but I've been taking a deep dive into like what sort of dating sims are in like the Google Play Store, right? Sorry, I mentioned a brand. Sorry, you might have to erase that. But
oh, you're fine.
Okay, and okay, lo and behold, well, this is a long time ago, but I've been a regular player of this. Love Nikki is a dress-up, so to speak, kind of adventure game. If people don't know about that, and basically the premise is you literally battle NPCs by, making the best outfit. It's very pure, it's very wholesome, but essentially the premise is that these different kingdoms have different fashion styles. Yeah, and it still, of course, preys upon, like, this, people have to, like, pay for better stuff, you gotta pour money into it. But for the most part, it's a pretty playable, and I'm shocked, like, how full this game is, like, just by playing it for free entirely. But it really does, it does have an exploited aspect to it in a way, like, like gotcha games. But it's an otherwise really wholesome game that anyone can get into, and like, hey, I can, yeah. And while the system is, kind of bullshit, it's not, it's not like, oh yeah, like, it's not taking into account of like, well, let me explain it. Well, it as you would expect from a dress-up game, it takes into account like different accessories, different shoes you can collect. You have to buy. There's a crafting system that's pretty cool. It's again very straightforward, but how points are accounted for when you battle, air quotes, is not really, it's not really precise in terms of like, oh yeah, does your character look good when you're battling? So you often see, and it has a huge flourishing fan community because of this, like, people like making strategies like, oh, what's the best outfit to get like, this top score, or, like, what's the best outfit to compete with, etc. Like, there's different ranks for different categories of contests and all that. There isn't really player-on-player interaction, which is a shame, but essentially, what's amazing about this game is that it has produced some pretty artful portraits of characters where clothing doesn't make sense. Like, there's people like, dressing up pretty hideously in terms of just wanting to get a score. So I guess I would compare it to no different to like an MMO character where they're really stacking up all this armor and equipment that makes no sense, but it's the best strategy when it comes to practicality. So it's very interesting how like this community kind of flourished over such a simple concept. I think what I'm going to get into is how like it has such a pure premise, but as of recent, and the game has been updating story arcs essentially. Like each stage is divided by chapters. There is a story. I should have explained this. Well, the premise is this teenage girl, and her talking cat gets zapped into like, I think she's from Earth. Who knows? No, it's bonkers. This girl gets zapped into this magical world where, essentially, for some reason, fashion is used as a premise to battle people. But as of recent story arcs, spoiler warning for anyone who does want to get into Love Nikki, things have gone to shit where there's literal, like, war going on. Like, it goes into, like, really, like, strange political stuff regarding, like, oh, some kingdoms have, like, beef with others. I don't know, it was very weird. Basically, people died in the recent arcs of Love Nikki, and I don't know what happened. People died in this dress-up game, and it's blowing my mind, and I don't know how to feel about it, but also I kind of love it. Anyway, like, it's kind of like Pokemon, where, I guess for a better comparison of people who really are not familiar with what I'm talking about, let's bring up an example of Pokemon. So it seems like a lot of conflict is, challenged with just battling Pokemon. No one... Is there, like, human conflict where people die? Is there human conflict where people get shot because someone can pull out a gun or something? That's never really addressed in Pokemon, like, it's even in the show-wise, so to speak, or in the games, just, I guess, purely out of the mechanics of how does that work. It's similar to Love Nikki in a sense where, people are just solving conflict by dressing up and comparing quotes and all that. But as of recent, like, something, has hit the radar, hit the fan, and... now all of a sudden that logic is thrown out the window where, oh yes, actually actual violence can happen, and it's just very strange. But I still love this game nonetheless. But that's my take on that game in particular, and I've been playing it, and it's been kind of a nice relieving thing despite what has happened in the recent storyline. It's a Chinese developed game. Do recommend it. Again, it's pretty good to get into. It's free for the most part, as long as you avoid the gacha aspects of it.
How do the dress-up fights function? Can you, like, twirl to show off, like, how well made it is, and that's, like, 10 damage or whatever?
Yeah, it's not really on damage. It really is just about accumulating points. I guess I would compare it, to bring up Pokemon again, how the beauty contests in Pokemon work. It's kind of really pure on that. It's entirely based on, like, scoring things based on specific traits. Like, some of the traits are, like, it gets a little weird. I don't know if it's also a result of, like, shoddy translation, but, because, again, it was initially a Chinese developed game. And, some of the traits include things like, oh, sexy, cute, mature, traditional, and traditional actually refers specifically to, like, a Chinese national dress or, like, some sort of, like,
Chinese.
yeah. It's like, so there's a lot of that too. Like, like, okay, yeah, you can see like cultural references specifically made, of the developers and where they're from, which is cool. Yeah, it's basically on a point system of, like, what do certain items mean, and actually how does it coordinate with the rest of the outfit. So you can't just put on, like, oh, you have to fight off this character wearing a sexy swimsuit. You can't just put anything that's labeled sexy. You got to actually think about, oh, it has to be a swimsuit. It's very strict too about certain categories. It's really interesting. Yeah, it actually does take into account specific things and specific combos. But a lot of times, again, as I've said, it's kind of not really concise. Like, people not cheat, but people kind of just, like, like abuse the point systems point system in a way where, like, okay, if I wear a particular combination of clothes or accessories, I can get away with ranking up so many points without the penalty of, like, this kind of looking ugly, you know? so that.
That's really cool. I'm gonna see if that's available in the Play Store down here. Hopefully it is.
Yeah, it should be at this point, I think, but who knows? I think at this point it does it's in the international market. Oh, and the English translations are pretty bad. That's also good. It also adds to the experience a lot. In terms of the story, like, I don't, but
it's part of the charm.
It is part of the charm. Like, and again, it has a huge base. It doesn't bother a lot of people. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's see here. Walker, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
Anything I've done this week? No, not really.
Any news? Anything else?
Well, the one news item that interests me is I did bring up the Neptunia series earlier, and I'm actually like really interested into that whole company that makes those games, Idea Factory / Compound Heart. Because their games used to be terrible in very fascinating ways, and then Neptunia just happened to be like my type of thing. But yeah, they're really weird. And they've always been a Vita / PS3 company. They put out a couple of games in the Xbox, but as you know, that doesn't really exist in Japan, so they cut that out of their workflow very quickly. And recently, this week, they're bringing a sequel of one of their games, Mary Skelter, to the Switch and not the PS4. And I find that really interesting because, they're basically switching markets. They've never put out a game not for a Sony console, not that I know of. So I'm really interested to see how this. Sony has those new propriety policies, and Idea Factory does make some racy and sometimes questionable games. Like I said, I don't always bat for them. I just find them really interesting. And they decided they're not gonna, if they require their game to be censored, they're just not gonna put it out for the platform. So I guess they're gonna start switching, and I'm really interested to see if that's gonna see other developers follow suit. Like the Senran Kagura guy was also contemplating altering development on the new one after the new Sony policy. So I just found that really interesting.
I will say, I don't know if it's purely because of the Sony policies. You mentioned that a lot of these games are on Vita. The Switch is just like the new Vita. It's a high-powered portable
but Mary
is really good for RPGs.
Was on PS4 in Japan though, and it's not coming to PS4 over here. It's just Switch. But yeah. Like the Switch is basically soaking up all of that old Vita stuff, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is an interesting shift in the market. And, I will say that sometimes the Switch goes a little too far. Like, I remember there was that, weird, almost porn game that came out on Switch where it was just, a model, like a sexy Japanese model, just, in different outfits, just, talking and posing sensually. And you could just buy that on the Switch for some reason. I don't know.
There was that one game. I was browsing the store the other week, and there was the one game that was it's like the panty game, and then it has a disclaimer there's no actual hentai in this game. It's literally just a game where you're
Is that what it's called? The panty game?
I don't think that's what it's called.
Oh.
It had panty in its name, but you're literally just there's floating possibly sentient panties just floating everywhere, and you have to deal with them.
There's a couple XC titles they're bringing over that I think are going to be on the Switch that I don't know if that's just their own marketing. I don't know if the games themselves are essential as their social media presence is suggesting, but they've been kind of on a roll when it comes to like hyping up, like, oh, this is a sexy game. We're gonna have some very saucy like suggestion of like what's to come. So that's another. I can't name certain titles, but they seem like to be RPGs. But something about them is kind of like very yeah.
I getcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Spencer, how about
What
you?
up?
Is there anything else going on?
Yesterday I went and saw Pokemon Detective Pikachu in theaters, and I enjoyed that film. It was a good film, but good has an asterisk on it, and that asterisk is if you like Pokemon, you will like this film.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Pokemon fan, definitely go see this film. You'll have a good time. If you don't like Pokemon, maybe give this one a pass. Save your money for something else. Because like John Wick 3 is coming out or is out, so you can go see that instead.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what Pokemon is and you're kind of ambivalent because you're like a grandparent and you have like your children who are really into Pokemon, take them to see this film. They'll have a good time. You'll have a good time. But yeah, it's a good.
Did you get like a free? Did they give out like complimentary trading cards on the?
So
or was that
I
something I
believe
missed?
they
Confused?
did, but
Awesome.
So I went, but here's the thing: I went with a friend who had seen it last week during opening weekend. He didn't get cards then,
Oh no!
and we didn't get cards the time that we went yesterday. But we also went to the fanciest
maybe they ran
movie
out.
theater I've ever seen in my life. Like we went into one of those theaters where like there's like a theater has 48 seats and they have like the buttons that you can press that like they roll back like a lazy boy, and they have like a button for like food service. I was blown out of my mind.
Oh my god!
That's wild.
Actually, I have a
crazy.
question for you and John, who've seen the film.
Yeah.
Can you see this film like inspiring a lifelong love in Pokemon, like the anime did for like our generation?
I don't think this is going to be any sort of like inspiration thing. Like, I don't know if kids these days are going to go to see this movie and be like, wow, I want to get into Pokemon. I think this is for people that already like Pokemon.
Yeah, I'm with John there. Like, I can see it. I can see like a kid who's like really into like other games like Fortnite or Call of Duty. Like maybe giving this one a pass because they just didn't grow up with Pokemon and aren't really interested. I don't really see like kids like that getting into Pokemon through this film.
Yeah, because like you if you watch the first few episodes of the anime, or even just the first episode, that first episode of Pokemon is the distillation of the beginning of that journey, and that just grabs you when you're a kid. That's just like, yes, I want to do that. I want to have this magical journey where I meet this creature and we fight off a bunch of enemies and we're friends now and we can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
That is absolutely not the case in Detective Pikachu. It is, here's a bunch of Pokemon that you know, here's this world that you know, and have fun. Watch this fun adventure in this world. That's what it's about. It is not an introduction to Pokemon. It is a celebration of Pokemon.
Yeah, I do think it might. I'm kind of hoping that there are more live action Pokemon films after this one.
They've already confirmed a sequel to this, so I don't know.
Well, okay, we're at least getting one more, but like, I don't know. I enjoyed it as a Pokemon fan. I enjoyed it. If you like Pokemon, you should definitely check it out. But I don't really see it like having the same sort of like cultural impact that like the trading card game had, because a lot of people got into Pokemon just because of the trading card game.
Mm-hmm.
As someone who hasn't watched it, but to just put in my own opinion, I think what has inspired or kind of might ongoingly still be inspiring depending on like how you see the numbers, but what has inspired maybe the new generation of people to get into Pokemon would probably be Pokemon Go. especially when
Definitely.
it peaked like at its highest like popularity, like 2 summers ago, or was it 1 summer ago? I don't even know. But when it was really at its peak of like everyone is talking about this, people who aren't even into Pokemon, like parents who aren't even Pokemon, like just got into it, like, oh, this is a nice way to like take my kids out to walk and like just it's just yeah, stuff like that, like
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The whole reason why this movie got greenlit was because of Pokemon Go.
Basically.
Yeah, and Nintendo agrees too, because that's what Let's Go was, right? Like, let's keep the Pokemon Go crowd engaged with the rest of the franchise.
Yeah, it's kind of its own separate audience, but also there is definitely a cross section.
Niantic know how to make mobile games.
Aren't they the ones making that Harry Potter game?
I think it's a different. Is it? I thought it was a different.
I don't think so.
They might have had some.
Niantic. Niantic did the other thing before Pokemon Go that's escaping.
Ingress.
Yeah.
Ingress,
Yeah,
yes,
more-
thank you. I knew it. Which is kind of
bare
like the same
bones.
thing.
Yeah.
No, I just checked. They are doing the Harry Potter game as well.
Nice.
Really?
The current one, or is there a new one?
There's one called Harry Potter Wizards Unite that is planned to launch sometime this year.
Okay, that's a new one. That's
So
not the
there's
current Harry Potter mobile game.
So there's Pokemon Go and there's Harry Potter Woo. More Wizards Unite.
Okay, Wizards Unite is a new game entirely. Okay, because I wasn't.
Yeah, it's not officially out yet. I guess there's like a beta in Australia, and that's it.
Okay. But yeah, I think LV's right on the money there. Like, Pokemon Go just exploded Pokemon because like
but in a
parents
very
who weren't
different
into
way.
it could get into it. Friends of people who were into Pokemon would get into Pokemon because of Pokemon Go. I had coworkers getting into Pokemon because of Pokemon Go.
Right?
Nuts.
Yeah, like people that just never touched the actual game or even watched the show growing up. It definitely it's just very accessible. It wasn't like a full complex game that would scare off people. Like, oh, it's like whatever. It's
Just walk over here and get a thing.
Yeah, walk around, get a thing. Like, and feel like you gained something. Yeah, and in many ways, a lot of people have, and that's very uplifting.
Yeah. For sure. LV, you pointed out in this doc that you wanted to talk about clickbait ads. What's
What's
going on with
Okay,
that?
well, before we go into that, I just realized Monster Hunter Iceborne is gonna happen at some point, and I'm thoroughly still disappointed that the idea of like cross-platforming is just a very like still unapproachable thing. It's often dismaying when like I play a game that has online features, and my friends or people I know who are like actually online, like available to play with, they're like, "Oh, I have it for this console." Well, I'm sorry, bud, I have it for a PC, But anyway, I'm very excited for that. So that's something I want to talk about on a general basis. Love Monster Hunter. Yeah, but. I think someone just a few moments ago, I think, pinged me about that. And I'm like, well, tough on you. I do not have it for PS. Well, no, I don't have it for PC. I'm sorry. I didn't mix it up. I have it for PS4, not PC now. That a lot of people do have. But anyway, it's just been hearing the murmurs of it being twice as big. Well, actually, I don't have it twice as big, but almost as big as the actual game. So I'm looking forward to what crazy things might come about for that. Very into it. Monster Hunter kind of has its like problems when it comes to keeping up the hype of like its games like lifespans. I've noticed over the years, like I don't know, but we'll see. Maybe things will be super active again after this. If people are still interested, hopefully.
What weapon or weapons do you?
I'm very much
using?
an insect glaive person. Deeply annoying. Just enjoy being deeply annoying. I also love the I just also love the standard, like, the bagpipe thing. It's really hard.
The hunting horn.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I call it just a bagpipe, honestly.
I mean, some of them are just bagpipes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, clickbait ads. Do you still want me to?
Yes.
Oh my
I
gosh.
would
Please,
love
I'm so curious.
Oh my gosh. Okay, going back into mobile games, because it all connects. Okay, for some reason, and like, if you use social media, like in any capacity, or just, scroll past whatever, Twitter, even if you don't use those things, at some point down the line, you've seen very strange, like, video game ads, like, advertising, like, video game ads that seem off. And just to start off, I think the biggest example would be the, like, off, or, like, who wrote this, or, like, whoever wrote this, like, without consulting a second person about what game this is about. I think the biggest example that I think most people might know of as of recent is the Final Fantasy 15 ad where this blonde model is saying we're under fucking attack. Do people know about this? Okay. Yeah.
Oh, I know this.
Like, the actual game, though, the actual mobile game of it, it's literally like, what do you call it? It's a specific genre. It's literally just like an invasion, like, strategy game. There's nothing of this woman at all. Her presence is not all the game. I think she's trying to be Luna Freya. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
suggesting she's Luna Freya, wearing the white dress and all, and she's blonde. But to better, eloquate what I'm trying to say, like, there's just a lot of video game ads that, specifically in the mobile game market, that for some reason are very suggestive of a game that's totally not what this is about. And it's a big issue, and it's kind of gross, where I've noticed, like, a lot of them have this clickbait approach of, like, suggesting that there's, like, a weird, like, dating or sexual aspect to it, which is not at all present in the actual game. So, for instance, I'm looking, like, I've been investigating for this for a while, so I've collected a lot of screenshots of the strange ads I've seen, whether via Instagram, Twitter, or just even like a YouTube ad that has popped up. And a lot of them, like, for instance, I don't know if people are aware of the game called, was it X Girls? Girls X Battle. Okay. It's literally like another gacha game where you collect a bunch of, cards, like, girls, I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I'm actually not that familiar game, but from my understanding, it's like another gacha game. Where, and there's nothing, like, the way the girls dress and, like, how they're designed, it's obviously pandering to a particular market, right? But the game inherently is not really sexualized. But there's, like, a lot of there's, like, an ad, for instance, that I'm looking at right now where it says things like, Day 1, accost. Day 2, pregnant. Day 3, wife.
Oh my god.
Where's this from?
Yeah.
I love those.
And yes, so as you guys have all reacted, like, for some reason this format is common and, like, towards a lot of games for some reason, where those games don't have anything to do with, like, that premise at all. And there's, like, other deeply more problematic ones, like things like, oh yeah, like, like, things like kidnapping, or, like, I don't know, it's very strange. Anyway, it's just a strange, like, marketing approach to something. So basically my big question is, like, who, like the people who develop these mobile games, again, they're mostly towards development, mobile games. Do they have any idea, like their games are being advertised as, like, who's, for a fact, like, it's obvious, like, this advertising team, like, who's, like, making these things quick and, like, putting it out, like, they're, like, definitely a third party. But what's weird about it is that it's so formulaic, like, and that's what's weird. Yeah, and, like, again, they all, like, depend on this clickbaity kind of approach where, like, it has nothing to do with the game, but it's really weird and kind of sexual and very problematic also. So I'm encouraged to check this game out if it really does this weird thing where I can date a girl and have a baby with her, and all that other stuff. It kind of connects a lot with the strange, like, kids flash games stuff that people have been, like, talking about, like, prior to, a little, like, oh, who's making this stuff? And that's really the mystery of it. Like, who's making this stuff and thinks this is okay? Someone is paying them somewhere, but that's my, like, conspiracy hat on, but not quite a conspiracy. Yeah.
They need to rename gacha games where you exclusively collect, like, cute girls to gacha games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's wild.
Someone out there will pay you a lot of money for that name.
Sure they will.
And, like,
Absolutely.
to kind of rebound it to Love Nikki, which I've explained, what it is. Love Nikki is inherently just a simple dress-up game. There's actually no dating aspect at all in Love Nikki. There are, like, male characters that are, like, oh, handsome, and, like, at first glance, it looks like a dating sim, but it's not at all. It inherently is purely a dress-up game. There has been similar ads of Love Nikki, depicting Nikki, the main character, the pink-haired main character, as, like, oh, like in a dating sim situation where, like, oh no, she's like, oh no, I don't know, let me try to find it. But from what I vaguely remember, like, the premise was like, it was animated too. Some of these are also animated too in like a very cheap way. It's really funny, but also, again, disturbing. But like, it was like a weird premise where she was caught in a love triangle and like, I don't know who the father is of my child. And I'm like, whoa, that never even happens in the game at all. Like, it's very strange. And like, what's even great about, like, if you actually see these ads, like, you know, again, this is like very visual. You really need to see this to like be like, this is weird. They're really poorly photoshopped and edited. Like they like edited like a fake belly on her. It's very strange. It's it's like they took two male characters that are not even important at all in the game itself to make this weird plot and ad, but yeah, it's very interesting.
That's wild.
It's like definitely like an underground. Yeah.
If people want to play like a mobile game that has like pregnancy, they can go play like Fallout Shelter or something. What are they doing?
Okay, well, that does basically confirm that whatever is going on at the advertisement agency level. It's not the developers.
Yeah. Definitely. There's definitely some weird like underbelly of like some advertising team, like multiple people being paid to like, you know, let's make something super weird and catch people's eye. But I think it's really disturbing, really, because a lot of them have this weird formulaic thing about like pregnancy or something sexual, and you know, that's really what's kind of freaky about it. It's like, oh yeah, they're like, they want to grab people's eyes because of that, you know, stuff, and it's like it's icky, you know, it's icky. But hey,
it's creepy because like if it's so prevalent, then that means these either the same advertisement like company or like the advertisement divisions, they all have like similar metrics, and they know that like the reason this keeps cropping up is because it actually works.
Right? Yeah, somehow. Yeah, like exactly. That's the that's the reaction. And yeah, more often than not, it is. Yeah, and again, it's specifically like games that have like a large. It's fucked up because Love Nikki inherently is a kids game, you know. So yeah. It's like games that have a visual like female character, like, you know, it's like, you know, we don't even know what happens in this game. Let's just like assume there's like a strange sexual premise and make an ad out of it, right? But, yeah. Sure.
All right. Spencer, what else have you been up to lately?
I did want to talk about the Castlevania collection that came out, because a lot of people are obviously excited about it, but understandably reticent about it because, you know, Konami. But I just wanted to talk about like my experience with Castlevania, because that's actually like the first game I ever did like a recorded Let's Play of. But I've since like unlisted all of those videos because, one, they were done with a really bad mic and I was a college student, and two, I didn't do the recording properly, so I only recorded my mic and not any of like the audio from the game, which was a problem. But it was Castlevania Aria of Sorrow for the Game Boy Advance. It's a fantastic game. Walker, it was you who said like Bloodborne was like the 3D Castlevania we never got.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, like Bloodborne's one of my favorite games. And I think it's part and parcel because like I really got into Castlevania when I was in college. Like the newer ones, like the Metroidvanias, like the older ones, like Castlevania 1 is probably my favorite NES game.
That's an excellent take.
Thank you. So yeah, I still don't have like the Castlevania collection because like I've played most of the games that are in it already. I don't feel the need to like go back and revisit those, but I'm kind of glad that like those games are out there again so people can like pick them up and play them. Castlevania is a good series.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I've heard some rough stuff about the ports in a sense, but I don't know. It might not be as bad as it sounds. We'll see. And also, we're in the day and age where ports happen. So
Yeah.
who knows? Or
The
not
world
ports.
of ports.
Patches.
Put everything
patches.
on Switch.
Patches. I
Oh,
mean.
it's patches.
Yeah.
Oh,
If
patches. Okay.
If there's problems, we can get patches. That's what I meant.
Yeah.
I've kind of been noticing a lot of indie games. So, like, what do you call it? Metroidvania, air quotes. Been noticing a lot of those as a recent. I'm curious as to what prospered that, in this kind of time period of.
Well, two
interesting.
things. Two things. One, they're easier to make because you just kind of have to come up with the map and the weapons. And secondly, they whip ass.
Yeah. Definitely that second one is the big one. Look, people love Hollow Knight. People love...
Oh, okay, yeah.
John, what's the one...
It's definitely the first one that did it, and other people were like, oh, I gotta do that too.
The Toho one.
Toho Luna Nights, still probably my favorite game that I played this year.
Yeah.
That's a friggin' Dojin Soft Toho game, but it's absolutely incredible, and I recommend it to anyone, even if you don't like Toho.
Is Dojin Soft the name of the developer?
No, just a Dojin software. It's a fan game. It's a fan Toho game.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a category, in a way,
Yeah,
just to describe it.
Yeah, but all Toho games are self-released, so I got confused.
Oh well, yeah, but I mean, it's a Dojin of a Dojin, even it's a fan game of Toho,
Yeah.
Gets even deeper.
Yeah.
The most recent Metroidvanias I've played have been Hollow Knight and Axiom Verge, which I enjoyed them both, but they're very, very different.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, people... I mean, Symphony of the Night came out, and then, that's all Castlevania was for ages, until we got Lords of Shadow, I want to say.
Yeah.
There was Judgment, but we don't talk about Judgment.
There's Judgment, but I feel like a fighting game at that point is kind of more like a spin-off game. You don't count the Mario Tennises as
I
part
suppose.
of the Mario games. But yeah, Judgment.
The music was good.
Music was fantastic. Castlevania has good music.
Sure does.
And I will add one more controversial thing. I really like the designs in Judgment. I think they look cool.
I could take or leave some of them. I just like that they brought back Grant from Castlevania 3, who's always
Left
forgotten.
out, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing I wanted to talk about was the recently announced Microsoft-Sony partnership, which is wild.
Oh my god,
Yeah. Because it was specifically with, if I remember correctly, it's specifically about streaming games, which that's got to be a response to the Stadia. I was going to say Stevia,
yeah, but might as well be.
Yeah,
right. It does sound like that. It does sound very pharmaceutical.
Yeah, it's which I'm wondering if this is a preemptive partnership, or if this is a foundational partnership for more collaborative stuff in the future. Because I know Microsoft they released that accessibility controller, which was really, really cool, and they were here's the open source, here's all the stuff, you can put it on your consoles, that's totally fine. And I didn't hear anybody chomping at the bit to go and dig into that. So, but this is weird.
Let's see here. I've only really been playing one game. It's been busy getting the newbies on, and trying to also set up some codes for some folks. So I have personally not played too much, but I did get back into playing two games actually. First off, I played some Puyo Puyo Champions. I mostly played that with Solon. Solon is making a video about that, so you will hear his opinions on that very soon, so I won't go too in depth. But yeah, it's more Puyo Puyo, but it's just Puyo Puyo. So if you played Puyo Puyo Tetris and you were like, ooh, I think I like a little bit of Puyo, but just a little bit.
I played Puyo Puyo Tetris, and I could only stand the Tetris parts of it because Puyo melts my brain.
Then don't even think about it, because this isn't just Puyo Puyo. This is advanced Puyo Puyo. This is specifically.
My gosh. I love Puyo Puyo.
Only for the most
this
rugged
is
of
specifically
Puyos.
hard mode Puyo Puyo.
That's great.
So yeah, if you're really into it, look into this. It's $10, and it's got online. It's got rankings. It has both Puyo Puyo 2 rules and Puyo Puyo Fever rules. So depending on what kind of Puyo you like, you get the whole thing.
I really loved Fever from what I remembered. I haven't played a game of Puyo in a while, but
yeah. Well, if you want to get thrown into the deep end, get Puyo Champions.
Just throw my body into the pool.
Yeah, just sink or swim.
I like the characters in Puyo Puyo.
Yeah, the designs, the aesthetics is great. It's excellent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For a time, I was using the character designs in Puyo Puyo to sort of like get a sense for how they draw those characters, and so I drew out some of them.
Mm-hmm. They're very simple, but incredibly just adorable. Like you just want to every single one of those characters. You just want to hug a plushie of them.
They have a very particular style, and you can tell right away when a character is a Puyo character.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool.
I actually don't even know the artist name of the games. I'm curious, because it reminds me a lot of Ko Takeuchi, who makes, the WarioWare stuff. And, he's very active on Twitter, actually, so you can easily follow. He's actually very responsive, too. He's done, portraits of, random people, because he just asks them, it's really cute. He's very responsive,
like the good version of Kamiya?
yeah, weirdly enough. But yeah, I'm curious to see who that is, or if it's multiple people. Sometimes it can be multiple people.
Yeah, I'm
actually gonna look it up right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't know off the top of my head. I will say that something to remember is that Puyo Puyo is actually a spin-off of an RPG series called Mado Monogatari.
Yeah.
It is. It's like a forgotten thing. Yeah,
they were compiled
super
RPGs.
Detached. Yeah.
Yeah. Extremely difficult games. Extremely difficult. You can play them. You do have to get a translation patch, though. But there are ways to play those games if you are interested. But I will say, if you are going to, save after every single fight. And try to find a guide. There's no way that you can just do it. It's not for normal humans.
It's for advanced humans.
I don't even know if advanced humans can handle it. This is for real freakers out there, Yeah,
it's weird to think that Puyo Puyo and the Persona series have a lot more in common than you'd think, because Persona is also a spin-off of SMT, just like Puyo Puyo is a spin-off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild.
And became so detached from what that is that people are people don't even know what
successful.
Yeah. If not maybe more successful, arguably, he's more known.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're also both owned by Sega now.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Oh god.
I can't wait for Persona 5 Puyo Puyo.
And Project Diva Puyo Puyo.
You say that, but I would absolutely love to see the Persona 5 cast in the Puyo Puyo art style. That would be adorable.
Yes, I would.
They would. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. It wouldn't be jarring if they did it. To be honest, at this point, with how Persona just meshes with whatever it can. It feels it's funny.
We've been talking for years about put this character in Smash, put this character in. So
and
no,
it
put them
actually
all in Puyo
happens.
Puyo. I want to see them in that art style. That would be rad.
That's pretty good.
Possibilities are endless at this point.
And the only other game that I've been playing is, again, I don't have too much to say about it, but I am kind of getting back into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Again, this is just something that I do every few months is I play Xenoblade for a week, and then I play something else, so this is my week of Xenoblade for a while. God, that game is...
You're plugging through the DLC, right?
Kinda, yeah. I'm doing a lot of the DLC side missions, and I did some of the combat trials. That is way harder than I expected. I need to actually spec my characters and maybe I don't know, figure out different blades for different combat things, because I'm getting my ass whooped, and I'm, like, on the easy mode, so I need to figure out the combat for that game.
It's always, like, the weird part of any video game where it's like, I could just, like, fall ass first through this game, and it's no big deal, and then you hit the first, like... you hit the first wall, like the first DPS check or something, and it's like, no, you have to learn mechanics, and then you're just like, oh, I gotta learn stuff now.
Well, I will say I don't have I didn't have any kind of trouble, and it's just I'm in a specific challenge zone that I'm having problems with. So
gotcha.
Like, if you just set it to easy and you just play as well as you can and like grind a little bit, you'll be fine, but it's just if you're doing the challenge mode, that is, you have to figure out what your specs are, because you can't just, like, overlevel yourself to beat that, because there's, like, challenges where it's like, oh, we bump you down to level 30 for this one.
Oh, gotcha. So it's like sort of, like, usually you see that, like, optional or end-game stuff for, like, RPGs, where it's like,
it is optional.
All your characters are, like, level 99, but that's not going to save you now.
All of this is optional. All you really unlock is there's a few things that you unlock. There are costumes that you unlock, which are like all the DLC costumes. That's where you'll get like, oh, hey, here's like an alternate design for this character, or here's the swimsuits for everybody, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
But also, the ones that are actually really interesting is you get 3 specific blades, which, if you don't know Xenoblade, the blades
are... Is it the Xenosaga ones?
No, those are not the Xenosaga ones. Those you just get randomly. Those are random pulls. And those are very rare. The ones that you get are Shulk and Fiora from Xenoblade Chronicles 1, and Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah.
And blades they're kind of like stands, in the sense that they kind of like stand behind you and give you powers, but your character like still does the fighting. They just get like weapons based on what blade they have. So if you get Shulk, you could just use the Monado, and it's really neat, especially because when you do use Shulk, you actually get his power of like the prediction, the visions. So every once in a while, you can just straight up like negate an opponent's attack, because Shulk will see the future, and you can just negate it, and it's really cool that'll just happen randomly. But you have to unlock them to bring them into the main game.
Does Rex say, this is the Monado's power?
Shulk says that, not Rex, unfortunately.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yeah.
At least somebody says it.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
How far along are you into Xenoblade?
Well, I am, like, kind of near the end, but I'm just doing a bunch of side missions, so I'm on Chapter 8 of, I think, 10, but because I'm just doing straight side missions, it's probably still going to be a while before I finish it. Like, if I just went ahead and, like, just played it, I'd probably be done pretty soon, but I kind of don't want to. I love these characters so much.
That's
like,
so good.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has maybe my favorite party of characters in any RPG, like straight up. Like they are just such
That's impressive.
That's
because
very high praise.
Yeah, like every RPG has at least that one annoying like character that you're like, but they're there to fulfill the dynamic. But otherwise, it's that one character
maybe not number 1, but it's up there. It's definitely up there. Like they're this like wonderful family of misfits, and like none of them fit together. Like the main dude is just like this. He's this generic shonen boy whose blade is this like girl that can turn into another girl, and he's constantly like having to figure out like which version of her he likes more. And then he's got a Welsh cat who's extremely powerful.
Who's the best character, really.
She is the best character.
Specifically because she's Welsh.
Yeah. She's incredibly powerful. I love Mia.
Like powerful Welsh cat girl energy.
You have a tiny bean man who has
You're describing him like perfectly.
Yeah, he's got a robot girl like waifu that is incredibly strong and is also pretty great. You have a fucking like military general who's a lesbian who has a flaming wife And by flaming, I mean literally on fire. And then you have a chuny bastard who is just constantly bungling, but then you find out that he's like a very powerful prince, and you're just like, oh, okay.
I really want to get back to Xenoblade.
It's a fucking incredible party, and then like halfway through that game, they just all come together, and you're like, wait a minute, this is a family. This is a family. They love each other. They're a family, and it's great.
It's amazing.
It's very good. But yeah, that's basically what's been going on with me this past while. Spencer, do you want to round us off by talking about the like only piece of news that went on this week?
The Microsoft Sony stuff?
Yeah, if you want.
Sure. We don't really know like too much about it other than like, hey, it's happening. But yeah, it's specifically for like cloud services, streaming games, stuff like that. It's really out of left field because I don't think Microsoft and Sony have ever like interacted on amicable terms like ever. Mm-hmm. Because there's been like this history of like going back and forth with, you know, whose console is the more powerful, who's leading the pack, who's defining the games industry. And it's really weird to see them have like any kind of partnership. I mean, we've gotten like used to Microsoft like with like Nintendo because that was a thing, but with Microsoft and Sony, it's like this is kind of unprecedented.
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
So, but I'm very curious to see like if this is, like I said earlier, if this is just a response to Google's Stadia, which I said it like 10 minutes ago and I've already forgotten what the name is. But I'm hoping that this like leads to more avenues. Like, hey, it'd be really cool if we could have like a cross-platform. So, you know, people who are playing video games on the Xbox One can play with their friends on the PlayStation 4. Will that happen? Probably. No, probably not. But this could be like the first steps towards that being a reality, maybe for the next gen. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll have to wait and see.
The one thing that does worry me though is that, like, I think last episode you guys all talked about the problems already with the Stadia. There's like the internet in the world isn't there to support it. And it's not there for Google. There's no reason why it would be there for Sony and Microsoft. So it worries me that, like, if it comes to a battle of pockets, Google can win against Sony and Microsoft real easy. So if those two spend each other on streaming services, then that just leaves Google up to take over when they're exhausted.
I think they're still going to, like, be dedicated to their core audiences. Like, I know Microsoft's done a lot of restructuring internally to, like, not be as bad as they have been in, like, you know, the 1980s era of Microsoft, where, you know, the whole antitrust thing happened. But I think they're selling it as like a partnership, so they're at the very least on terms to like work together to do something. Mm-hmm. So I don't really see them, like, they're still going to have like their big console releases, they're still going to have their exclusive games. I don't really see that's ever changing. But we'll have to wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out soon enough. All right. Well, now is the time where we get questions from the audience, and we answer them as best as we can. Are you all ready for your first round of questions?
No.
Terrified.
Based on what I saw, maybe not.
Well, too bad. If you, listener, want to send in a question, go to videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. Or you can tweet them at us. If you just tweet at the tweet that we tweet. You can do a tweet at that tweet. That was bad. First up is from... Thank you. First off, we have one from Harlequin Wheels who says, I heard that Sekiro was recently patched to reduce the cost of using the Shinobi prosthetics. This got me thinking again about how recent games like Final Fantasy XV and Xenoblade 2 have also been given patches that improve the overall experience, but happen long after people play those games at launch. Has this kind of thing also happened to you with a game you bought and played on release day, and would you have waited a few months after release if you knew that you'd get a straight-up better experience? That's a really good question.
Well, okay. I ended up getting Final Fantasy 15, like, a good while. Like, I was pretty late. It was, like, maybe a year after, like, and, like, it's still... It's never going to be finished. I accepted. I learned to accept Final Fantasy 15 in the imperfect way it has been. There's no reason to get bitter over it. But with all the recent things that has happened with, like, regarding especially, like, whatever internal Square stuff has been going on that led to this, whatever drama that I can't really, like, elaborate on, like, it would probably be too much to go into. Mm-hmm. But even a lot of other things I probably don't know about. That might be related to Kingdom Hearts 3 in a way. But anyway, but yeah, especially with all the things like, we're going to cancel this DLC episode. It's like, oh, wow, It just didn't get better from there. Like, I think, like, that trend people are fearing about, like, the whole issue of, like, the fear of, like, oh, this big AAA developer is going to release this big game, but it's going to be broken and people are just going to suffer from it and just have to deal with it. Sorry. I think there is a concern of that being normalcy, but I don't think it will. And, like, yeah, like, in regards to my own opinion of, like, should I just wait on a game because of that? I think, like, if I'm really into a game, I would, like, the timing of when I will support it doesn't matter, My expectations of a game really, again, it just goes down to the traditional, like, research of, like, like, what are people saying about this? Like, I'm going to look up some reviews and all that here and there. Like, I feel like if the first impression is great, I probably won't wait for it to get better. Yeah. And yeah, in conclusion, I'm accepting Final Fantasy 15 in the way it is, even though I don't think it's going to get fixed.
You said Final Fantasy 15, and I immediately was just over here nodding my head vigorously because, like, yep, because I got that game on release, and then, like, I heard a bunch of people getting to, like, oh, I got to chapter 13, and then, like, there's a bunch of weird stuff, and I was at chapter 8, and I was like, okay, I'll wait, and then we heard, like, oh, they're going to patch the game relatively soon.
Which has happened, but then it didn't really address, like, the actual issues. And then, again, unfortunately, like, as of, like, a few months ago, I think it was a few months ago, like, the big announcement saying, oh, no, like, oh, shoot, wow.
They're canceling the DLC.
Yeah, maybe they'll address it in 14. Again, it's just not good to hold on to that hope of, like, like, again, there's that concern of, like, oh, like, I hope games just don't make this a normal thing to do. Like, let's release a broken, incomplete game, and then we'll just let these poor consumers, like, deal with that, and they gotta wait on us. I wouldn't hold on to that fear, because then you're gonna just end up, being very bitter about it, right? I mean, again, not every game is doing that, Like, there are a lot of games that don't do that, so that's a hope to hold on to at least. Yeah.
Okay. How about the rest of y'all? Have any of you gotten a game and then we're just like, oh shit, they need to patch this, and then they did, and it was a big deal?
So I got, like, 2 examples. The bad example is, like, 15. Like Final Fantasy 15, where it's like, I got the game, people were saying mixed things about it. I thought, okay, I'll wait until they patch it, and then they did, and then I just, like, me having to wait for them to patch it, actually, I never went back to that game, because they patched it, and then like people were saying like not a lot has changed, and it's still the same game. And I was like, I want to play it, but like I'll wait till it's done because shortly after that they announced like episode Gladio or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'll wait till it's all done. And then it's like I am still waiting, and it's
never
like,
gonna be done now.
It's never gonna be done, and it's like, okay, well that sucks. A good example though is with Bloodborne. That game came out, and one of the big problems with that game was that the loading times were abysmal, and the loading screens just had like a black screen with the white Bloodborne logo on it. And those loading screens lasted so long, and it was so like it was such a big contrast that it literally had people's TVs getting burn-in of the Bloodborne logo on their TVs when they turned them off. It was that bad. And like they later patched it so that like it actually does like the old-fashioned Dark Souls things of throwing up like an item with like the description on it while you're waiting, so it actually is moving the screen, so there's no burn-in anymore. But if I had gotten the option to like wait until that patch to drop before getting Bloodborne, I probably would have taken it, because those loading screens were not great. I loved that game, but those loading screens were really bad.
Yeah, I mostly play single-player games, so honestly, I never have a reason to pick up things on release unless they're like indie and really cheap. Because a single-player game is going to play the same 2 years from now that it's going to play now. Maybe even better, because there are patches, right? Like Spencer brought up Bloodborne, and I got access to a bunch of covenants and like smooth loading screens because I played it in like 2016. The only experience I have with that is fighting games, which you have to pick up in launch week or you're going to get eaten alive. And of course, those mostly get patched in matchmaking and balance. So I've never had like a crucial thing change for me. I guess I play Noelle, and she's just been getting nerfed continuously for 10 years. So the games actually get worse every time that they patch it for me.
Yeah. I would say for like a neither good or neither bad, like, yeah, I think especially like playing on competitive online games, like, something like Overwatch, for example, where, or people who like are into esports, like, I don't play them, but I would throw out names there like Dota or League of Legends, stuff like that, where the meta keeps changing. And even for people who don't play competitively, that really kind of affects people in strange ways. So, it's both a blessing and like a curse, for games like that that depend being online, but also depend on interacting with other people, where that can really affect gameplay in really dramatic ways.
You mentioned fighting games, Walker, and I think probably my biggest like regret for buying a game on day one was Street Fighter V.
Oh. Yes, absolutely.
I love Street Fighter, and I'm not like a competitive player, so I wasn't like, buying it to grind or whatever, but yeah, that was not a good purchase for day one. Not at all.
It wasn't.
They had,
I waited until season 2 because it's
that was about the time that you should buy that game. Like Street Fighter V is probably worth it now, especially if you get like the arcade edition and then just like get the DLC or whatever if you feel like it. No, day one, that was absolutely not the right choice. Not whatsoever.
It's been a little while. It didn't even have arcade mode, did it?
No, it didn't.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That game still has a lot of problems. It's still really grindy and gross with its like in-game currency and shit, but it's at least a solid fighter, and it has single player modes and shit.
It's now actually a game and not a demo.
Yeah. Let's see here. We got a question from Century Punk, who asks, "What's your favorite anime game?"
Oh my god! Well, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I can say that for like most of the Dragon Ball games. I love most of them. I feel like it really adds flavor in a lot of ways that the series itself can't do sometimes, and really adds a depth to it where, just so many good things to say about that game, especially like on a production and visual level. I just said that immediately though. I have a Dragon Ball bias, so this is just that's just my instinctual answer. But I might have another title that comes to mind as we move the chat along, though. But I just said it immediately. I would say
Sure.
it's just it's at least the top there.
If we're talking about like adaptations of an anime, I
Yeah,
want to
that might be
shout
different.
out Psychopath's Mandatory Happiness because it's the best title to anything that I've ever seen. But I haven't played
Just
it
the
yet.
name.
Yeah, Mandatory Happiness Psychopath. It's incredible. But yeah, like Dragon Ball FighterZ is like the gold standard, right? Like what else can compare to that? It's Arxis. The music is remixes by Daigo. What else?
Yeah.
No, Daisuke, sorry.
Yeah.
I think my favorite, and it's not even like a great game, but JoJo All-Star Battle is so much dumb fun. Like they just wanted to make a game that was just actually playing the fights from JoJo. You feel like you're in that world while you're playing that game. It's real janky.
Now, is the question about like games with an anime aesthetic? There's like it's like anime based, or is it an actual adaptation? So I think that might.
That's my question.
You answer
Two different
however you
answers.
want. You
Okay,
answer
well,
however you want.
all right. I guess Dragon Ball, like the Dragon Ball games in general, yeah, that would be my answer for like something related to an anime. But I might have a different answer for a game that is anime based or has like anime aspects to it, right? That's like kind of different.
Yeah, because
Think
if
about
we're
that.
going like has an anime style, then mine would probably be the Blaze Blue series.
Yes.
But if we're going like anime adaptation game, I don't usually play those games because not because I think they're beneath me or anything. It's just like I grew up with being the oldest of 4 siblings. We got a lot of those licensed games for our consoles. You know, like your DreamWorks games, your Disney games.
Yeah.
A lot of them were not great.
Yeah.
And I kind of just was like,
Shovelware.
I'm not gonna like, oh man, there's this Dragon Ball game. I like Dragon Ball, but I'm gonna give this one a pass. But a lot of them are also like fighting games, which isn't usually my thing either. Like I like Blaze Blue, I like Skullgirls. That's it.
Huh, okay, in terms of like I would like would this count? Like oh, wow. Okay, yeah, the Sakura Wars franchise. I really love Sakura Wars. In terms of like I guess another anime, you know, like anime like cross genre. Yeah, I love that franchise. But it's just I wouldn't have a Dragon Ball answer. The other day I saw like a figure of like one of the main girls, and the figure was priced at 13k yen. I was just blown away by why would it be that price? Anyway, but yeah, it's a little tricky. Yeah, well, it's nice to have like a broad question like that, so it's making us think.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess the Ace Attorney series, in terms of like an
Yeah, Ace
anime-based
Attorney.
kind of like flavored game where like it's really ridiculous and cartoony, but it's not based off an existing property. It's not based off a manga, but like it's obviously like drawing from like that sort of like the tropes of it, and how again it's just a cartoony game that's obviously like this is what it's referencing to, and this is
Sure.
I really love that franchise.
Because
Yeah,
in
something like
terms
that.
of anime aesthetic, as Spencer already brought up, I love Blaze Blue. Like, I play it religiously. Guilty Gear is another one. Same studio, same game basically. And those are
Basically.
incredible fighting games.
Yeah. I think it's like easy for a lot of. I wouldn't say easy, but it's more approachable to like make a fighting game out of something that's already action based in terms of adapting anime.
Yeah.
I've heard interesting things about the Attack on Titan games. I've never played them, just seen a bit of them, but heard like a mix of things on those. But
I had they're like Dynasty Warriors, so I automatically
yeah,
think they're good.
Nah. Let's see here. Yeah, we got a lot of questions, so I'm going to kind of sift through some of them because we don't want to be here all night.
Actually, can I add something to that question?
Sure, go ahead.
The Gundam Dynasty Warriors games are completely crazy because they took the absolutely weird decision to make every single enemy explode when they die. And it's a Dynasty Warriors game. There is a lot of enemies dying. There are so many explosions that I had to turn down the brightness of my monitor because I was getting headaches because there were so many explosions.
Was there like even the sounds overlapping? Like
yeah, it
constant?
was
Like,
incredible.
oh my gosh. And it never really broke your system, right? It just
No. It didn't even chug. It was just
Wow.
cacophony and noises and lights, and I loved that.
Okay. Let's see. Mighty Mighty Boss Stones asks, which of the 3 new members are the fire, water, and grass type starter, respectively?
Wow.
Anybody want to go first? Anybody want to call dibs?
I used to be a competitive swimmer in high school, so I'm gonna take water.
Yeah, it's a role question for us.
Is this already gonna tear us apart? Like.
So Walker, you're taking water?
Yeah. I love swimming.
All right.
I guess I'm the grass. I've consistently loved the grass types. I've mostly loved grass
that
types.
I'm going to be Pokemon's first like on fire floating evil skull Pokemon.
Flaming
This
Skull.
is great. This is good. I'm Ghost Rider. It's me now. But I'm
Yes.
a Pokemon.
Yes. This is set in
All
stone
right, so
your
there
path.
you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Walker's water, LV's grass, and Spencer's fire.
All right, well, there you
And
go.
now we know who
That-
can beat up who.
And I can pledge to you right now, I will not be a firefighting Pokemon when I evolve.
There you go.
Better not.
Good answers. Good answers. Anonymous asks, here's a more serious one here. Do you think cinematic influences have helped or hurt games more?
Ooh, good question.
I think that it's made AAA games a lot more stale, at least in America. Because I feel like a lot of them have been chasing after the spectacle. And there are some games that do it fine. Like, I still really like Uncharted, but a lot of games aren't having fun with it like Uncharted is. And they're just trying really hard to be the mainstream success that finally has the fucking Oscar nominators take a look at a game and go, oh shit, video games are legit. And that's like such a dumb thing to chase after. Like, people shouldn't be chasing after that. They should just be chasing after making a good story and making a fun game. And I think that it absolutely has hurt games more than it's helped.
Yeah, I'm thinking about like The Last of Us and playing through that and going, wow, this is a really good movie. I wish it was only that, because the gameplay itself was kind of it was serviceable. It was decent, but I was only playing the game to get to the cutscenes, basically.
Yeah, I think it's definitely. I have a mixed feeling about it. I think it's definitely setting a standard for like, like, our games are, like, it's definitely like saying that standard, like, that's pressuring. Yeah, like, I agree that it's saying this pressure where now some games are aiming for a certain quality, but ignoring the other aspects of why is this a game, I think, some games, like, going too far off the deep end of, like, being more like, what's the word? Well, just being more like, the issue of, like, is this better off as a different medium? This didn't need to be a game, and vice versa. Like, oh, this could probably be, it works both ways. I think what it does in challenging or, like, kind of disrupting, right, the AAA scene, in terms of the sort of games that come out, like, like, is this, like, worsening that quality, or, like, is it improving it? It's also, like, making room for, like, especially indie titles. Like, indie titles have prospered so much as of recent, and it's great. Like, a lot of people are getting into it. A lot of people are getting into games development or are more interested in it. It's causing this, like, utter, like, it's triggering this other movement going on where, like, okay, there's other games now trying not to do that. So, you got, like, these two parallel, two different paths going on in the game scene.
I think, like, I think I would agree with John that they've definitely hurt, mostly because I think that people got too suckered in by the fact that they are both on screens, and they never actually took the time to realize that games actually resemble almost every other medium more than they resemble movies. Like, plays or books, just like in narrative structure or like in set design, like a game designer can learn a lot more from how a playwright sets a scene and the structure of, like, there are going to be actors walking around here and there are people watching it happening live. You can learn a lot more from that than just a still film. And like books, they tend to be a lot more comparable in length and like the amount of diversions that they take along their main stories. Like when they adapt books to film, they cut out so many things because films are very short, they are very to the point, they are very efficient and mechanical in the way they work. And books tend to be a lot looser, they tend to allow for many more characters, many more subplots. And I think like the next step into like developing good game plots is taking that from books more than films, actually, like realizing that our medium tends to be a lot more sprawling, a lot longer, and we could learn a lot more from there than films.
I agree.
Yeah, that's like a great comparison. You're right. It's like the density of a game works. You know, it's working. You know, like as a reader to a book, the material is so dense that you need this sort of interaction by the reader / player. That's very different from the experience of watching a film where it's a more condensed version of a probably bigger story. It's kind of just a window into what's probably a bigger world out there. Mm-hmm. You know, and that kind of, you know, and that's why, like, you know, like a book, you know, like a bigger piece of work, that's why it sometimes can be like an issue when you want to adapt that into like a film medium, you know, or essentially, you know, whatever condensed medium it is, because you're going to lose so much of that. And like the art of a film is like, how do I articulate what's going on, or like what the intentions of this is, if this is an adaptation, in a way that still reads to the audience who has not seen the source material or experienced it, or like the other take would be like, I'm going to do a totally different thing, you know, from the source material.
Sure. All right. Let's see here. Anonymous asks, I need to know what character the new hires want in Smash Ultimate. There are no right answers per se, but you will each be judged severely.
Oh, wonderful.
Gosh.
All right. And as the resident Smash Bros. Bastard, I will also be judging a little bit. So.
Oh no.
What do y'all want in Smash? Who do you want in Smash? Let's hear it.
Can I go first because you already know my answer?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it
Travis and Dante?
Travis Touchdown and Dante from
Devil May Cry, yes.
Those are pretty good ones.
I mean, for my judgment, those are both very good. Yes. Okay.
So, I would agree with getting Travis in Smash. Put that bastard in Smash. But I really want Professor Layton to be in Smash.
Okay.
Ooh.
I've really wanted him to be in Smash, where like he has like where his like his like final smash is like he just fucking drops down like a DS, and it's like everybody's in a puzzle and he's like solving it, and then it does like the whole like tick 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 ding, and then bam, everybody flies off the screen.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like I was gonna, you know, we were talking about Ace Attorney earlier. I was gonna say like again, I'm not a Smash person, honestly, and I'm gonna say that up front. Like I don't know who's in it at this point. It seems like everyone is. I could probably be saying an answer of someone who actually is, and I'd be shocked. But you know, you were saying Professor Layton. Yeah, I was thinking of like Nick, you know, from Ace Attorney, like should be in it, but he has been in like the
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Yeah, already. So, and that's kind of like off limits, right? Like that's just like that's like a wish thing, you know, obviously because of like licensing stuff. Probably he can't be. It would be funny if like there was like a Danganronpa Romhan character thrown in. I don't know if whatever circumstances that would be. They have been on, yeah, but I would just like to see like at some point there's a strange, that's what I mean, like a strange out of the blue character from an anime that no one thought of like to be thrown in just because at some point.
I mean,
going back to Switch getting all of like the Vita ports, oh man, renouncing like all the Danganronpa games coming to Switch. By the way, Mono Kuma is now in Smash.
Or the panty game thing you were mentioning.
Well, speaking of that, like my stupid answer would be Neptune from Neptunia.
Like that'd be funny to see like suddenly an indie like character, an indie game character thrown in because Switch has been like porting a lot of.
I got Shovel Knight in Smash. That was the one I wanted, and I got him in Smash. He's an assist trophy, but I'll take it.
Oh my gosh! Like think of a character from like Stardew Valley.
You never know. I mean,
anything's possible at this point.
I feel like at this point you just kind of have to pay attention to what game Sakurai is into, because he was talking up.
Those are the hints.
Well, he was talking up Persona 5 for like a year before they announced Joker. So yeah, like I think maybe if you just like go, I wonder what Sakurai's been playing lately. Yeah,
Hatsune Miku.
Oh my god,
please,
I would die.
If he's been playing like Project Diva.
Please put Miku in Smash.
Mm-hmm. Put her in there.
Yeah, let's see here. Shulis asks, and now I don't know how many episodes y'all have listened to, but this is a little bit of a callback. Which wing shop do you think Vegeta would be most humiliated in? Buffalo Wild Wings or Quaker Steak and Lube?
I do not know what the latter is. I don't know if this is a regional
I don't know what that is either. Yeah. To explain to y'all if you don't know, we do have a running gag where Vegeta cannot handle spicy food. And
I agree. I think he's definitely like he wouldn't admit it though.
Yeah, I mean he would try to eat spicy things, but he would not be able to.
Yeah.
His sensitive Saiyan palate can't handle it.
I feel like the Saiyan palate is definitely very unseasoned and boring. Mm-hmm. I do not think they eat like for taste.
Yeah, they just eat like burnt meat.
Burnt meat, a lot of meat, but they don't even salt their meat. I'm convinced their diet is actually disgusting.
God.
What is the latter joint? What is that?
I've never heard of a Quaker Steak and Lube. Like, you could tell me that was made up.
I think it's the latter one, just because.
Yeah, like, that name alone is very strange.
So I've looked it up. Like, it is based in Sharon, Pennsylvania.
There's some locations in New Jersey, but I am not familiar at all with this whatsoever.
Like, I'm just imagining, like, Goku and Vegeta, like, they get out of the car, and Goku's like, come on, we're going into the steak and lube, and Vegeta's just like, excuse me?
Yeah.
What did you just say?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't handle this. I'm leaving.
Kakarot, like, what form of place are you bringing me to?
Yeah, is that like, he would think it's a joke.
It's just a steak and lube, and because, Goku's, like,
there's steak!
Dense,
yeah.
He doesn't understand, so he just, like, walks right in. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think it's this latter, just because like Vegeta doesn't even get in the door. He's already like embarrassed himself.
He's already gone
because he's like made a big scene about just heading down to the steak and lube.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I don't think he would even accept that invite. Like, mm-hmm. But the other Z fighters would probably be down, except Vegeta.
So you think the other Z fighters are able to handle their spice? It's just Vegeta?
Oh, okay.
Yamcha can't handle anything.
Yamcha can't handle space, and see, they both were with Bulma at some point. I think that's an important thing to point out.
I mean, I think Yamcha has trouble drinking water, but
Yamcha half the time has trouble with anything, really.
Yamcha has trouble.
Spice levels?
There we go.
Yeah, Yamcha has trouble.
Yamcha has trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Krillin probably can't tolerate it, but he's a champ and he would take it. Krillin's open to new things.
Mm-hmm.
Krillin's
I don't know, he's very cowardly.
He is very cowardly, but he's a good person, and I think he would be open-minded to
he's the most powerful human. He's the most powerful human. Yeah. He can handle a little bit.
He can handle a little bit, but it's not his thing, but he would be not, very into it, right?
You know who can't handle their spice? Piccolo, because he only drinks water.
Yeah, he probably realistically would be able to.
You know what? Here's my argument, though.
He's technically a plant.
Because Piccolo has the healing factor, I bet he would not be phased by Spice.
Interesting.
Oh.
You're right.
And he breathes fire. Or
yeah,
lasers.
he'd be fine.
Yeah.
He could probably
He'd be fine.
he could just probably eat straight up hot peppers, and he'd just be like, I don't know, they're tasty, I guess.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I think the correct answer to where would Vegeta be humiliated in would be
It's only because
yes.
of the name, really.
Yeah.
The answer is just yes. He would be humiliated. That's it.
He's humiliated.
He would be humiliated
regardless,
both
whichever
ways,
one he
but the
goes
latter
to.
because of just how the ideas presented to him, probably.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see here. All right. Another question. Why can't MMOs agree on terms for anything? Like in WoW, they use threat. Final Fantasy XIV has enmity.
Enmity, yeah.
Enmity. Other games have hate or aggro, and don't get me started on HP/MP.
Oh, that's the
So
Jesselyn question, isn't it?
Yeah,
Sure.
so I did some research on this, because they asked in the Chooch Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I think it comes down to like three main points. One is like when and where the game was developed, because like WoW was developed in America and was released in 2004, and Final Fantasy XIV was developed in Japan and was released in 2010, and then was later re-released in 2012. But we don't need to get into that. The cultures are different, the languages are different, the internet landscape was different. Like in 2004, we didn't have YouTube, which is a weird thing to think about. So the terms that they use are going to be different. And I think World of Warcraft was the first, if not one of the first MMOs to really like pioneer like the aggro threat table thing, like conceptually. Because normally, like in a single player game, all the enemies are just going to attack you. But in a multiplayer game, like you have to have like more specific or more sophisticated like enemy targeting systems, and that's how we got like the aggro table and how we got like the tank DPS healer trinity thing. But the second point is like how the players actually use the terms, because in Final Fantasy XIV, the tooltips say enmity, nobody calls it that. Everybody in English calls it like aggro. Everybody just calls it aggro. If you're an older WoW player, you might call it threat. I've seen some people use that. Some people have also used hate. But for most cases, I see people use aggro. And that's just because like aggro rolls off the tongue easier than enmity. It's a whole like hill to climb up when you go enmity.
Yeah,
and it's
I
also
couldn't
like a
say
really
it.
just awkward. It's also just an awkward term to use these days. The only reason they picked that term is because like other terms on the tooltips in Final Fantasy use like more sophisticated type terms. Like they don't say damage. This does X damage. They say it does X potency. So it kind of just matches tonally. And the third thing is just kind of like there's too many different kinds of people who play too many different kinds of games. So there's never really going to be like a homogenized like term for stuff. Like some people are going to use aggro because that's what they're used to. Some people are going to use threat because that's what they're used to. Some people are going to use like hate because that's what they're used to. And I think to finish off, I think like games use different terms because they want to like differentiate themselves just a little bit from their competitors.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that, because I don't play MMOs, but my head went to BlazBlue. BlazBlue has funny names for everything. Like nothing has regular names in that. You don't have a special bar, you have a hit bar. You don't do like ABCD. You do revolver action. And I think a lot of it's just flavor. But I also think like another thing is that we haven't really codified formal language for the medium yet. Like we're still in that process of deciding what things are called for everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's especially.
It's also,
oh, sorry. Where are you?
Oh, I was just gonna say like it's also like a prescriptivist linguist versus descriptivist linguist sort of situation where it's like you either like prescribe what people should be using, or you just kind of like look at what people are using organically.
Right. I like, just to add on, it's just hard to codify too, where like you have these different games where they have different rules as is too, in terms of like, what's the main function of this MMO in particular? Like, it's in terms of like how like raids work, and it's different for every title. So I guess also like what are the priorities of like what these words mean, and like whether or not that's relevant to the main play style, so to speak, of like that particular world and that particular MMO. Like, maybe combat is not the objective actually of this MMO, or maybe like it's the kind of crafting, there's just a lot of things. There's a lot of systems going on in a play that makes it hard to have like to codify a universal language for MMOs specifically too, right?
Yeah, like people like, and it's different too, because like with HP and MP, like sometimes HP is hit points, sometimes it's health points, sometimes it's hurt points,
or energy points.
Sometimes it's magic points, sometimes it's mana points.
Yeah,
and sometimes the P stands for power.
Or there's a third meter for just something else. Yeah. And some games don't have that third meter. It's just a lot of stuff.
The old-timey version of that is stamina your like capacity to do physical things, or is it health?
Yeah, oh jeez.
And in some games stamina is a temporal effect, in other games stamina is a permanent effect. It's like a second health bar, to so to speak, or it really inhibits it's different from damage, where it inhibits the doing of things, even like actual walking speed. Whereas others, it's again a temporal effect. It goes away if your character stops moving. But
so to recap, it's based on when and where the game was developed. It's based on how the players actually use the term, and it's based on people just wanting to differentiate their games from their competitors and other games, and just kind of sometimes just to do style and flavor things, like what Walker was saying.
Sure. All right. Last question here. Again, if you listeners want to send in a question, it's videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com/ask. Anonymous asks, what's the best bathroom in games?
Is this even a question? It's the No More Heroes bathroom. It's the save.
Yeah.
It's where you go to save the game.
Yeah,
come on.
It welcomes
it's
you.
It's the toilet game.
Yeah. It is the toilet game, really.
I will give an honorable mention to the Deus Ex bathrooms, because like walking in that when seeing like old like Polygon JC Denton in the mirror was like that terrified me the first time I was playing that game, and then I was like, this is so cool because it's like a 1998 game, and they were able to do like an actual reflection of my character in the window, which is really difficult to do.
Oh yeah, how about not only that, but Duke Nukem 3D had him see himself in the mirror, and then he also said, damn, I'm looking good. So,
Hell yeah.
See, I was going to bring up Duke Nukem, but forever, because we all know what happens in that bathroom.
Yeah, you're right. You can grab your own turds and throw them, and it's great. And he's just like, why am I doing this? And it's like, you know why, motherfucker.
Why did they do that?
Thanks, Duke.
Because they're geniuses, Duke. That's why.
They're geniuses with 300 IQ.
Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
Like, is this also asking bathrooms in terms of functionality? Again, like, No More Heroes bathroom is, again, the most, but, not sure. Again, like, functionality or just, oh, this is a nice looking bathroom? That could be, I don't know, this could be a big question, but...
Stay tuned for my 100,000 word essay on like bathrooms and... No, I'm kidding.
I mean, like, this is gonna be a weird answer, but I think in terms of really being effective in a way that you wouldn't expect, but in terms of being super gross, but the bathrooms and the Silent Hill games are really excellent, and just like... a bathroom is a gross place, really, and then it just heightens that with this level of like, well, I don't know if something's following me, and also, something probably died in here. Also, there's a lot of things on the walls, and I don't know what material or matter that is, but, if you want to talk about gross bathrooms, I guess that's the opposite answer. Again, I'm not sure what this question means.
Bathrooms are where people go to... bathrooms are where people go to sin.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
Silent Hill. This means
Or save the game if you're trying.
right. Yeah.
Also, probably
No
where
in
he goes to
between.
sin. Let's be real.
Okay, but then what's the best bathroom in No More Heroes, though?
I really like the one when you're going to fight I think it's like the rank 5 fight where you have to go down that long underground tunnel and there's just like a bathroom halfway through it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite bathroom. It's not the best one, but it's my
It's
favorite
there,
one because
yeah.
it's just like, why is that there? I'm glad
makes
like
you feel safe.
It makes you feel safe, and I'm glad like the service workers who have to go down that hallway
Right.
every day, they have a bathroom.
But then someone has to go down there every day and clean it. That's like the other end.
Yeah.
My favorite would be number 2 because it's literally just a toilet bowl in the middle of the woods with a toilet roll that someone left there.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I was gonna say like we're kind of cracking wise about the No More Heroes bathrooms, but also like the fact that as you go through that game and as like Travis like loses himself more and more, like the first bathroom you go to is like a dude's mansion bathroom, and the last bathroom you go to is a hole in the ground. Like that's genius.
Right.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Wow,
like
I
the
never noticed
escalation-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The escalation, or escalation or evolution. I guess like the evolution and like the I don't know words. Yeah, just that. Very symbolic development in terms of how that's going.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I love
In a
No More
subtle way.
Heroes. I love it a lot.
Toilets,
good stuff.
toilets, perfect for sin and symbolism.
All right. Well, thank you 3 for being on. You did a wonderful job for your first time on here.
Thank you
Hooray, we
for
did it.
tolerating us. Yeah.
You're fine. You're fine. And thank you all for listening. Real quick, I'm gonna do the standard podcast ending thing. So first off, if you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at VGCC. Follow us there. We have our Tumblr, videogamechoochoo.tumblr.com. We have our Discord server, which is thegamezone.zone. Type that into your web browser of choice, and that'll bring you straight there. I'd like to thank Melt Channel for the use of our theme song Crush off of the album Magic is Real. If you want to listen to their old stuff, it's meltchannel.bandcamp.com. And their current stuff is called Magic Circuit, and that is on Spotify under Magic Circuit. Just look that up. Also, I would love for you to go to patreon.com/VGCC and consider giving us some money. We could use it. Just $1 is enough to let you listen to Chuchigatri Unlimited Train Works. LV, you're going to be on that one. Hope you're looking forward to it.
Gotta deal with me again. Sorry.
And $3 gives you The Route, which is a Video Game Choo Choo's tabletop podcast. I know that we are a little behind on that one. Janie has been very, very busy with school. That should pick back up relatively soon, though. So don't feel too worried. That's going to be back soon. The $3 patrons are going to get that a week early, just like Chuchigatri. So if you can't pay for it, you can wait. But if you do want to pay for it, you get stuff a whole week early, and you support us. We're going to use that money for, I don't know, web design and images and transportation and all kinds of stuff that'll be extremely useful to us. And we're not going to blow it on anything bad, I promise. I know me saying that now makes it suspicious, and I shouldn't have said that because we really aren't. And I blow my own money, not Chooch's money. Okay, my own money goes to Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Chooch's money goes to responsible things. And that should be it. I'll let you all real quick though. If you want to maybe drop a plug to your Twitters or any other places that people can find you, we'll link it in the podcast notes as well. But if you just want to say them real quick too, Elvie, why don't you go ahead first?
Well, I linked it. If you go on the website, find my posts, it's all there. You can find me at the tweeters at Elvie Parian, my last name.
Okay.
Again, to be confusing, it's the letters L and V and Parian.
Mm-hmm.
Just to elaborate. But again, that's not actually how my name is spelled. But you can find me there. complaining. Sometimes.
As
You're
we
into
are to
that.
do.
Yes. What else is Twitter
That's
good
what Twitter's for. Yeah, that's what Twitter's for.
Complaining or memes, really. That's it.
All right. Spencer, how about you?
You can find me on Twitter at Solaire Hazard. That's Solaire like the Dark Souls character Hazard. And you can see my wonderful shit posts about Final Fantasy XIV, among other things.
Okay. And Walker, do you have any kind of place we can find you right now, or?
Yeah, I'll revive my Twitter soon, but for the moment I'm on Radio Music at Punk Pudding Pie Parfait. If you want to stalk me listening to a bunch of like mid-90s hardcore and late 2000s doujin music.
All right. Thank you so much, everybody, and we'll be back next week with another episode of the Video Game Choo Choo Podcast. So long.